are you?
Not too bad. Feeling a lot better. So hopefully today will go a lot better. I might just have to mute myself every now and then since I still have a cough. But other than that, we're good to go. Anyway, hey guys. I just want to welcome Hellbird. He is co-casting with me. We're casting for nAvGamingTV, and yeah, we're going to be casting bvd.black versus Damage Control.
Yeah, it's going to be quite an interesting match, right? It's kind of feels, with all due respect to DC, is that it's kind of like the contenders for the #1 spot versus a team that's pretty new to the Premier Division, and we're gonna, I think, struggle against somebody like bvd.black, but at the same time they have nothing to lose, and that's always something dangerous. Is a team that can just go all out, we try something different and pull a massive upset, but they really do have a mountain to climb tonight.
True. One thing I have to say about OBI though, I mean, we played them last year in the DGL as well, is sometimes they do come out with unorthodox drafts, and honestly one of the nice, or I'm not going to say better, but one of the more promising up and coming new teams, as they are quite a new team that hasn't been playing together for as long as bvd or a lot of the other teams have.
5 seconds.
Recognize the name Sugarman and Creed, they are old school players as well. So I was busy speaking with Fleurs earlier on, and I was really gunning. I was like telling him, please pick up a Meepo, please. I mean, it's the best out of 3, just pick up that Meepo. So a 5-minute long discussion about the Meepo. So let's pray that we do see a Meepo. Anyway, quickly,
coming up.
Yeah, well, let's hope so. Quickly running into the draft. Damage Control, OBI banning out the Slark and the Bane straight away. Maybe the Bane as a setup for the Lifestealer, so you might be seeing DC actually picking up the Lifestealer. bvd.black taking out the has been which is a very strong core early game, mid game, and especially late game, especially if you can get a couple of items and levels up on him. And taking out the Alchemist, we used to see Alchemist in the carry role, then 6.79 came in, then we used to see him in the support role. Now he's sort of going half-half between support and mid because of the stun nerf that he received.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've called it pretty much as it is. One thing I do find interesting is how heavily, or how frequently rather, teams are banning out the Bane. I noticed in a couple of games he's been one of the first bans, so obviously like a lot of respect being paid to that hero from South African teams, and I think it's possibly due to how popular Mirana is, but I do find that the Slark ban also interesting. It's really frustrating to play, especially if you want to run like a melee solo. But Invoker picked up, that's always great to see. I love watching Invokers, and I think a team like bvd will have some really skillful players, so it's probably a really great Invoker to be seen.
Reserve time.
And it's very interesting that you actually brought up that whole Bane pickup, especially with the Mirana. Bane, of course, giving a lot of control, especially in the mid game phase with that ulti. You can basically take out 2 heroes at any point in a team fight by sleeping one, ulting the other one. And the Slark banout, I mean, the Slark banout, constant banout, probably just before 6.80, being banned out in the international circuit every single game. But then players started getting used to, well, actually no,
10 seconds remaining.
They struggled in the beginning to actually find a balance to how to play against the Slark, and then as soon as they started playing against him and actually picking up counters for him, he actually did not get picked up that much afterwards. So it's quite interesting to still see the South African guys still going for it, quite, banning it out quite a lot. Abaddon being picked up here from DC, that's a hero that's like starting to actually make his name for himself, especially on the international circuit as well. I've seen him, again, he was picked up a lot, especially with the Weaver offlane combo, and then he started tapering off. But in the past week and a half, I've actually seen him being picked up quite a lot. And the OD, of course, for DC, that's probably going to be going mid against that Invoker.
The OD was a nice pick. I think Invoker is really hard soloing against at the moment. And of course, Invoker does very well against Intel heroes, so I think that's a clever pickup. The Abaddon, as you mentioned, is quite interesting. I think that Abaddon seems to be one of those heroes. He comes in and out like really frequently. He seems to just sort of pop his head for a while and then goes off. But I think in this case, with how important of the laning phase has become in Dota at the moment, I think that Abaddon is somebody who kind of messes with that. And I mean, we spoke a little bit about DC having nothing to lose. Maybe Abaddon's one of those heroes that can suit them very well here because Bravado
10 seconds remaining.
be quite comfortable with the current sort of state of the game and probably playing it sort of quite frequently and sort of messing with that might be a little bit difficult for them to adapt to. I know that some time ago I actually spoke to Scant and he mentioned that I think it was Lib, he found one of the more difficult teams to beat. We are talking sort of post-season, but it was because Lib also had a very different playstyle. They used to like group up very early on, and he mentioned how it was easy if you fall behind to struggle to get back in. You know, DC may be looking for something along the same lines.
Especially with the shield from Baden to dispel the stuns, a very good safe lane here to stop and aggressive lineup being picked against you. Even though it is a melee hero, you don't usually get a lot of those, but the shield and the heal can give you quite a lot. Going all out here, being very greedy, picking up the Shadow Fiend now as the third pick. Yeah, this is quite interesting, going for a full wombo. Basically Quaswex Invoker with the Earthshaker and a Shadow Fiend combo. It's gonna be quite sick, I have to say. I did not expect that.
You see there's a potential for something really special. I really desperately want to like a tornado flying through, catching sort of 3 people on top of each other and just Earthshaker and Shadow Fiend being there as they arrive. It would be amazing to watch.
Basically going to be one of those Dota Cinema team play videos. It's going to be quite sick if they can pull it off. But damage control,
skills.
Yeah, damage control, having a CM and an OD with the Abaddon there as well. If they don't stand in a straight line and they don't get caught out, if they actually get their positioning correct, I don't think they they shouldn't actually be caught out. But yeah, I mean, we all know Bravado has a knack of catching teams unaware and catching teams off guard when they don't expect it. So
the biggest threat at the moment is actually on the retreat, because I think when you play against an heavy lineup, you're kind of always aware, like, okay, don't want to get hit like by the tornado, want to spread for that EMP, Earthshakers in the game, you always got to be careful. But when you're running away, if he gets picked off and they don't like to fight and they want to back off, a lot of heroes tend to just sort of run straight back in a line, and you have very little choice. It's sort of, we got to run back
make
now.
A V-line towards base. Click on base and hope the pathing works.
So I think that'll be quite dangerous to them. But yeah, do you want to talk about the bans a bit?
You see, going out with the Murano, basically like you said, that whole Murano combo. Anyway, banning out the Murano as well after the Shadow Fiend pickup, so they were maybe expecting Bravado to go even more greedy than they already are. The Murano ban out, as well as the Veno ban out. Veno got a little bit nerfed, but it's still a huge team fight control, or a fight control hero, especially with that ulti. Would have been more of a wombo.
And really great in lane as well, I mean, no doubt about it. So a pretty decent ban there. But Timbersaw and Enchantress now picked up. Timbersaw seems to never go away these days. Like, there always seems to be a Timbersaw. I think even more so now we're seeing him because he more frequently gets through the drafting phase, and he's quite powerful.
Once again, a little bit of a nerf, but the thing is with Dota going towards the early game and the mid game phase instead of the very late game phase like it used to be, Timbersaw is just one of the perfect heroes to actually pick up in any lineup because he offers so much in the at the 10 plus minute mark. As soon as he has those arcanes up, he can control a team fight, he can control an initiation. Bravado also banning out the Weaver once again, going for looking to stop that lineup from the Abaddon Weaver combo, taking out the Lich as well for more team control or fight control heroes, and Disruptor being banned out now from damage control. That's quite an interesting ban if you ask me. I understand it's basically more of a wombo ban than anything else, but it's still quite interesting.
I think it's sort of... You can see the sort of disruptor pickup when it's countering a particular hero like the Bane or whatnot, but I don't really see anything that you're reliant and sort of steady in one position and dealing damage. Obviously the Crystal Maiden's got the freezing field, but nothing else that sort of you can just sort of drop that ultimate from Disruptor and expect to get much out of. But that's it. I mean, it kind of fits with the sort of theme that Bravado's going to some degree, but then I also wonder if they actually would have taken it just with what heroes they have. I mean, you'd kind of expect the Earthshaker Enchantress to fall that role.
4-5 rolls.
Yeah, so a little bit interesting that they banned it out, but maybe they know something we don't.
They just don't want any more Wombo. And anyway, Bravado banning out the Naga, which is a very good ban if you ask me, stopping that heavy initiation, you know, like we just spoke about. But okay, going for the King. So, you think we might be seeing a Sand King offlane here?
Well, actually, I mean, Sand King's certainly a hero that helps to deal with offlane that doesn't require can use to actually dodge some of the abilities, and additionally he's also got that burst strike that you can use defensively to just put a bit of range between himself and an enemy. But like the in the words of Kai Bucker Squad, a legend to those who remember, with the Sand King and Earthshaker, as far as sort of control and team fights goes, these are probably the two of the greatest team fight control heroes that they've ever been. I mean, they both have great stuns, they both do a huge amount of AoE damage, and clearly Bravado are looking to take this team fight quite heavily. And it's interesting because DC have team fight heroes as well. They got the Jero, got the OD, Timbersaw does a lot, and even Crystal Man's free field. And it's almost reminiscent, and probably why I went to the Kaya Bucker Squad reference, is that kind of a lot like the old lineups that we used to see, with these sort of big area oriented lineup where teams used to have to fight in these sort of big fights. If it executes better, wins. And I think this could be quite exciting and something you don't see a great deal of in competitive Dota today.
I agree with you, especially seeing as there is only one lockdown in DC's line, well, not lineup, but in the safe lane or in the tri-lane lineup. So pick up, DC have actually decided to go for a smoke, so we will introduce everyone after the smoke. We just want to see if anything actually comes of it. Mr. Assman might actually have to be careful here in the bush, but OBI is scouting around, or DC is scouting around anything, so players staying back, playing it very safe. They might actually loop here, but nope, I think they just have to make their way back. They still might actually run into Mr. Assman, and smoke does get parked, but they're all out of position. They can't really do anything. Oh, wait. No. Okay, so quickly running Bravado's lineup. It is going to be, I think that is Mr. Assman, if I'm not mistaken, on the Enchantress. Yeah, Mr. Assman on the Enchantress. Flares running the Invoker, solo safe lane or safe lane farm. Seam going to be taking up mid, of course, with the Shadow Fiend. Scant is there on the Earthshaker, just chilling there. And it is going to be Donny, Mr. Donny, in the offlane position.
Sand King, one of my favorite heroes. But yeah, I'll go over and take us through DC on the other side. So coming up against Sand King, we will see Var on the Timbersaw. Over at mid, it'll be Creed taking on the Shadow Fiend, which probably was not quite what you had hoped for. Over on bot lane, where the action is definitely going to be, and in fact there's an engagement here already, but just some harassment. It'll be Hero on the Crystal Maiden, Sticklish on the Abaddon, awesome name, and Sugarman on that farming gyrocopter.
It's going to be quite interesting to actually see, basically a Timbersaw versus a Sand King being taken up. Bottom lane, of course, Flares has to be very careful here. Because if he does get dove, he will probably die very quickly. But yeah, Scan just busy stacking up some creeps here, pulling them in, getting the nice ancient farm going there, already double stack in as well. At this point, everyone's just playing it very safe. Seam though taking quite a lot of damage here from the creeps, but he wants to fight underneath the tower. He's pretty much getting all the last hits here that he needs, which is going to boost his damage quite by quite a bit.
Is this legal? I know.
Major blocks, yeah. There.
For a while, that was it was not something that they allowed.
Like last year, well, as of anything after Winter Lake, anything goes now in Dota because it's meant to be that way since it's not a beta. So all blocking allowed.
Okay.
The fissure blocking, of course, is a lot easier when you play Dire, but yeah, that is all allowed now.
Yeah, it's getting actually quite a bit of damage from that, so... I mean, it's definitely hurting the OD middle, but it's not getting him as much as he would probably hope to be getting. It's a long way to kill all those Ancients. But even if he kills one, it'll give him quite a bit of XP, so interested to see how that turns out for him. Something I want to point out.
Yeah?
I think it's really interesting. For those who sort of aren't familiar with it, Donnie has opted to go like quite heavily into Caustic Finale, and obviously it's incredibly effective against melee opposition. So even though the Timbersaw is the guy who likes to sort of get next to you and deal some pure damage, as long as Donnie starts lining up these creeps for some last hits and sort of the Caustic Finales with each other, he can do a huge amount of damage, and you can be very easily just popped by a very well timed offensive here from Donnie. So if he does do it well, I think it'll be very difficult for Vard to survive an initial sort of burst damage he can do.
Yeah, honestly, in my opinion, there are very few melee heroes that can actually go up against a Sand King one-on-one because of the Caustic Finale. I mean, at that level 4, level 5 mark, if you hit a couple of creeps, you actually burrow strike through them, the amount of damage that you can actually do is insane. So quite interesting to see, because Timbersaw likes being very aggressive. He likes going on people, he likes forcing them back, doing the burst damage, getting in and out. He just can't do that versus the Sand King, because the Sand King will have a couple of stacks off in the Caustic Finale, and as you mentioned, he can very easily just pop without actually noticing it.
But he's doing it right. I mean, he's struggling a little bit for last hits here against Sand King, which is sort of, I think, expected, because he's a little bit scared to get close to the creeps. But overall, I mean, there's been no horror stories yet for DC, and I think they'll be pretty happy with the first 4 minutes of the game. No deaths, sort of standing equal on last hits with the Sand King as Sugarman. So
yeah.
Oh, pop is this? No, I heard the burrow strike. I love Sand King, man. I want to see the Sand King do amazing things. One of my favorite heroes, though. It's just such a cool little creature.
Well, bottom lane Flares is being helped out quite a bit by the Satyr. I mean, the Satyr spamming out the whole time on top of the Abaddon, pushing them back a little bit, making actually sure that Flares does, so that he can actually go in a little bit more for last hits. But anyway, mid lane, Fissure being thrown down, 2 TPs coming in as well from OBI, 1 being cancelled up, both being cancelled up, and a gank on OD being, well, basically failing out there. So very well played from OD to actually start backing up there as soon as he noticed something was wrong. The Fissure was not timed very well, but maybe they're going to go on him again. Net being thrown out, just no extra follow-up. I think that was just a little bit of harassment going on there.
It's kind of interesting to see how much they're dedicating towards this. OD, they clearly have a respect for this hero, and potentially Creed as well. He's getting a lot of attention, but top, in fact, is where it's at.
Yep, there's actually a bet going on that I would miss First Blood, and I did not miss First Blood. Got it, actually getting his Burrow Strike and his Epicenter off there. So
might be second blood bottom. I think this is closed down. Yep.
Thank you for pointing that one as well. So I've not missed a single death here. Mid lane as well, seen taking quite a lot of damage, but actually returning it back onto the OD. OD might actually drop here if there's just one more raise coming through, but not enough mana. Actually casting the invis, wanting to go on, but not managing to get that last hit. So we nearly had 3 kills in the time space of like 10-20 seconds.
Yeah, it was an exciting little passage to play there. And I mean, it was a great return, man, just players, because he's visiting around. It was a really nice return there from DC. I mean, they kind of want to drop First Blood and then have no response, but here we have...
Bottom lane, we might actually see them going on. The Tornado gets cast up on the Gyrocopter, gets cold snapped as well, but the shield comes down. Shield gets popped straight away by the Earthshaker Fissure, and they won't actually, I don't think we'll be able to get a kill there. That is the strength of the Abaddon shield and heal coming through. I mean, you basically get stunned up, can just debuff it straight away. You get damage down, you get healed up straight away. So very well played there. The counter initiation might actually come through here. Another cold snap on the Gyro, but just gets shielded up straight away, so doesn't help any more. They go back onto Flares. Very good vision coming through. Mr. Asvan, he's just going to be stunned up. Seam coming in with a TP, and he gets the kill on the Crystal Maiden with a raise. Are they going to try and go in further? It seems like Seam might actually want to dive this, but falling back a bit, so a counter kill, well, not a counter kill, but a kill coming through from BVD, but that does mean Seam left mid, so Odi can actually start getting some farm up, and honestly, I think Odi needs it, because Odi is one of those heroes that you don't want to fall behind, because it's very difficult to actually come back.
I gotta say, I think DC have done quite well so far on the losing stage. I mean, they have obviously the one kill beneath them, but it's come from rotations, and there has been some expense with that, of course. You know, you're losing out on farm in other places by doing so. So being 2-1 and not too bad. The one sort of concern I have is that they're falling a bit behind on the CS at the moment. So Jari, who was originally doing quite well, has now dropped to a significantly, you know, for such an early stage of the game, behind the Sand And Donnie has 2.5k on him. It'll be interesting to see what he goes. I would sort of be expecting the Blink Dagger and maybe Arcane Boots as well. But it's got some company.
Might actually get ganked here. There's a smoke gank coming on top lane. So Hero
no reveal though.
Going there. I think everything is ready for it. Sand King wants to get a little bit more damage up. He is getting frozen there. Abaddon actually taking a lot of damage, but the Timber Chain coming through, and the last hit from the Crystal Maiden getting that kill. So yeah, sorry, just needed to take a little bit of a breath there. Actually getting a very good pick off there on the Sand King, especially since he had quite a lot of gold, but yeah, not really losing that much. Surprised he didn't pick up, as you stated, his boots or his blink at least there.
He got a Midas. Sand King just bought Midas.
Oh, come on, Donnie. Oh, seriously.
Well, pretty interesting. I mean, it's always pretty. You could have had it a little bit sooner if you had to opt to go for it. But it's a very interesting pickup here. There's also seems to have picked up the bottle. But what I was going to say, early on I mentioned that he didn't have, that there was no reveal. But he actually hasn't taken a single level into Sandstorm, which obviously shows the aggression. I don't necessarily think it's the wrong thing to do, because it does give you, you know, an advantage over another melee. But it is...
he's going with an aggressive skill build, but not picking up aggressive items, so it's, you know, quite interesting. Going actually on the Timber Sword, getting the chain off. Sorry, yeah, he missed it. Oh, what a huge stun coming through from Scan, actually getting that block off. I can't believe he missed that Timber Chain. I wasn't even getting hyped up, because I thought he would just Timber Chain out of it.
Yeah, he went a very sort of strange route. Like, it would have, to me, the sort of the more obvious route was to go sort of down this way, sort of towards those trees.
I mean, he was
but
right there.
The sort of, yeah, he sort of went up and then missed it, and he got stunned as well, so no chance up. And fortunately, those are the kind of mistakes that will really cost you against a team like Bravado. But
TM might actually drop here. One hit coming through from Seam. The ulti actually does get dropped off from Sugarman as well, dealing a lot of damage onto flares. And Odi comes in as well. Odi might just try and pop his ulti here. I don't think it should actually do it. Well, I think he would have been able to get the kill off. Now he drops it onto Seam as well, but Seam taking a lot of damage now as well. Another rocket coming through on him. If he doesn't heal up, he might actually die. No, it's a Baron that goes down. Seam getting, not Seam, Scan getting that stun off. I was very surprised that Odi just didn't pop his ulti on the Invoker. I understand Invoker does have a high intel base, but I think Invoker was like under 100 HP. He probably would have just popped.
He was definitely low. I think he was not entirely convinced he would have got the kill and thought, I'll save this to something else. And I think he did his Astral on the Shadow Fiend, so he thought, okay, well, this is the better option, the hero right in front, but no. And wow, that's
a little bit of miscommunication coming through from DC.
Yeah, and it's not over yet. Ooh, hero is in trouble here.
CM actually gets a freeze off, but it's got one last WAs, and yeah, another kill coming through. Arrow's ulti actually being popped there as well, so we might see Bravado being very aggressive here and actually pushing up quite a bit. Sugarman going on C might actually get a kill here. Only a couple more last hits. If Seam actually does turn around, you'll probably... Oh! Flare is nearly killing his own teammate there with that. Sugarman's probably going to drop here. He's down on very low life. Abaddon trying to heal him up as much as he can, but one last click coming through. Then it's going to be the Enchantress and Pettis actually getting that last hit. So, once again, little bit top lane as well, getting a kill off on the Timbersaw. Probably using his ulti. No, he didn't even use his ulti there.
Got it.
Second kill the Timbersaw.
I didn't see, to be honest. it's probably that sort of Caustic Knights are lined up again. But he's exploded with cash. I mean, he has now picked up drums as well. It was amazing how quickly he actually found money again. He spent all of it. He was on 0, and then I think that was at about 9 minutes, and then in 3 minutes he's picked up the drums in completion as well. So that's pretty fast money at the moment. I wanted to credit Scant with something there, by the way. The stun that came through by Earthshaker was so important on that kill because watching us, Creed very cheekily steals a DD rune from. Oh wow, Action Bot.
Yeah. No, actually, yeah, sorry, the stun coming through from Scan as well. The ulti from the Gyrocopter being cast there. Scan even using his ulti trying to get down Timberchain, but Timbersaw. Timbersaw might actually drop here. One last click, or we're going to see a quick. No, there's no exort coming through, but it is Scan going to actually just cast that fissure. Scan getting quite a couple of nice fissure blocks, and fissure playing very aggressive here. But it is Flares that is going to drop. Flares kills himself basically against that balance shield. Yeah, sorry, I'm like half coughing, half speaking here, trying to catch my breath, so missing up on, quite a lot of the names and everything and not catching my breath, but yeah, bvd pulling ahead quite nicely here.
Better health. That was pretty interesting. Once again, like I love creating players with word credit to Stickler sort of ignored the temptation to kill Scant in that previous fight and didn't pursue the Invoker, and obviously just the sort of understanding of which is the more important hero, so well done to Sticklish. He's a complete menace, and he's putting so much pressure on this top lane, and if anyone's watching, you can see the power of Caustic Finale at full level is just destroying it. But it's interesting to see the skill ball as he gets a friend up here. Actually could be in a bit of trouble. No.
There is, however, a smoke gang coming up from DC. They might actually find loop here on Flares. They will spot him out. Well, basically a bad smoke gets popped. They run straight into creep, so that was not the best idea. And the tornado comes through. They might actually decide to engage on this. See him actually casting up his ulti there, but missing it by quite a bit. Sugarman probably going to be the only one that actually gets out of this, and that's because of a stun coming through from his rocket. Once again, a little bit of miscommunication coming through from OBI. They want to do the right things. They want to get the right engagements. Mid lane, we actually might see something. Oh, wait. No, it is Timbersaw casting his ulti, but the Astral Imprisonment happening there as well. Mr. Assman, are they going to dive this? It seems like they are going to dive this, and Timbersaw taking a bit of damage, and they're just deciding to back out. The thing is, OBI is making the right decisions. They're making the right calls, but it's just the implementation. Hold on, mid lane engagement, stun coming through from Scant, actually getting the last kill, and Creed might actually drop here as well. Gyrocopter comes through, pops his ulti, tries to keep them alive. I don't know where to look. Flares are dropping also quite low. OD also very low, he's sitting on 400 HP, but it gets healed up. Now BVD might have just overextended. Scant actually getting a huge ulti off there, but here comes Donny casting his epicenter. He's actually getting 1 kill, 2 kills there. Huge epicenter coming through, and also dropping. So only person that's left is OD, but I don't think he's long for this world. Shadow Fiend actually manages to get that last hit, and it's a full team wipe.
That was very messy, and bvd made a risk in a very messy situation.
Also overextended. That ES ulti was the saving grace, if you ask me.
It was incredibly messy, and the right decisions were made, and it turned out very, very well for them. And it's quite interesting to see that, because we mentioned earlier how we expected this to be these kind of like AoE driven fights, but I mean we saw Sanking, essentially he was just ulting the Gyrocopter, and Christopher sort of walked into it, but it was a one-man ulti. We've seen a lot of sort of one-man ultis in these team fights, which is pretty interesting. So none of the sort of
combo
giant combo combos, but oh wow, big stun from Donny though.
Getting 2 stuns there. I think OBI is just a little bit scared now. Flair's actually deciding to go straight back in there. Huge stun coming through there from Donny as well. Check the live poison. That's just with a little combo coming through. Once again, see him not actually getting his ulti out very nicely. Flair's actually might drop here, but I think Gyrocopter is also going to drop. He's going to buy an item. No, he's not. But Timbersaw comes back in. He's gonna drop now as well. Abandon! You couldn't get a shield up in time, no mana. It's not the best trade-off, but once again, extremely messy coming through here from both teams there. C might drop one last hit, and it is. So it's a 3-4 trade-off. That actually did not go very badly for DC, but Scant, Haystrom, nope, he decides to back up.
Yeah, they actually might be re-engaging. We do see Obi. Oh, Obi got way too close here.
He was a good first ulti, but not actually getting anything there off Scant, and I think they should just back off here. DC, well, sorry, I keep on calling them OBI, but they did move to DC itself. Getting a couple of pickoffs there, so it wasn't a bad trade-off. They're finding their groove slowly but surely. The plays that they're making are the right plays. It's just they're all focusing their own targets. They aren't focusing on single targets to make sure that they actually get out, and that just gives Donny all the time in the world to get 3-man or 4-man stuns. Donny once again waiting for it. No, he's just gonna right-click the CM to death, get a stun in as well, and he's out of there.
An alarming amount of damage. It was a lot more than CM was pretty much off HP after the first hit.
That's because of the Shadow Blade. Shadow Blade on Donny. No, OBI is actually off. Okay, Sugarman might actually drop here. Don't get healed up by the Madden. Very well played there. But huge ulti coming through there. Well played, Scant. I did hear a Sunstrike that came through. I think the Sunstrike actually did hit the gyrocopters, so I do apologize for missing Sunstrikes. I mean, that is one thing you should never miss. But big plays coming through from Donny, getting those stuns off, and Earthshake getting a huge ulti as well. Little bit more of the team-oriented, fight, or the combo actually coming through now, getting those 3-4-man stuns, those 3-4-man epicenters or echo slams. So, Bravado deciding to fight together and actually pulling it off.
Yeah, I mean, it's really felt this game has been decided by these micro sort of differences in the fights, and they're stacking up now to the point where Bravado is just pulling like further and further ahead. You can see by the net worth at the moment, it's all Bravado, and I think rightly
20k
so.
gold lead.
But it could have been a little bit different at this point. I think it's a little bit more sort of, let's say better luck, because I don't think luck's big. Okay, hold that thought.
No, yeah, I'm gonna actually see a combo coming through here. Now, Oni actually drops the hammer, but does no damage at all. Oni gets killed up straight away. Baron has ult on. They actually might get a counter kill here off Donny, and Mr. Assman getting away on like no health. So a little bit better there from DC, actually getting that pick off on the Sand King. Sand King, in my opinion, at this point is like one of their #1 priority targets. And as mentioned, the small micro engagements, the targeting of the heroes, of course, going BVD side, but DC showing sure they're 20k behind, but they aren't just gonna call it. They're gonna make BVD fight to actually get up a high ground, which is, in my opinion, quite. If they actually get a good combo off, they could pretty much wipe DC. So DC just has to be spread out properly. But Bravado has gone for Rush.
One of those spot. I mean, they're swiped up. They're looking for something, and I don't know if they're not going to make that time.
No, they're not going to get there in time. But they might just surprise Bravado. So, well, Scant actually. So the smoke is going to be.
That's really interesting, actually.
But we're going to see an engagement here. Sugarman's talking to the wrong person. He's going down. It is going to be a shoot. Oh, okay. Well played. The OD to actually answer from Blizzard, the Shadow Fiend. But Echo Slam coming through from Earthshaker just on the one hero, but he doesn't care. They've just picked off 4, and they're probably going to get Creed now as well. It's another Astral Imprisonment coming through. Everyone's chasing. This is a huge dive coming through, but no. Okay. Oh, that's fucking lucky. Oh, sorry. Swearing. R18 guys. PG-13. What?
I said flipping. Let's go with that.
Yeah, I said fucking. With the guys that listen to my Afrikaans cast, no, I don't really care. The nAvGaming stream is set to, like, it has a language advisor thingy-majiggy on it, so in game not so much. If I get a complaint I'll stop, but yeah. Anyway, Donny getting an epicenter off here, actually getting a kill off on the CM. They might actually go for counter kill. Timbersaw, going on it. No, I don't know where to focus. Don't know where to focus.
Dire's middle barracks are
Mr. Assman once again down to 100 HP, and Sugarman trying to get that last kill. One more attack on him, and it does not actually land.
Radiant's
So,
bottom tower is under attack.
yeah, I think that's the end of that engagement. Sorry, we're like speaking all over the
been so
place while
messy.
everything's happening.
It's so not what I expected. Actually, these kind of like tight knit, you know, like where you find like one team just sort of balls the other one, and it's all like beautiful and it's synergy and tornadoes entering into blink echo slams, but it's been a lot more like skirmishes, and
Yeah, a lot more scrappy.
yeah, I'm wondering sort of why, because both these teams have showed at points that they have some great synergy, but they're just opting for these sort of skirmishes and going for the sort of, and maybe it's just the way Dota is these days, maybe it's just favors those kind of fights, but it's been pretty interesting.
It's been interesting to say the least. And John just
Bonnie's
picking
so
up that
menacing,
Mask
yeah.
of Madness as well.
There he goes, Bonnie looking for something, looking for a sandstorm.
Gets frozen up.
Runs in there, hey, I'm gonna get them guys, I'm going for this,
Yeah.
and then, okay, never mind, sandstorms. So it reminds me,
yeah?
so if anyone's ever played WoW, you think about Paladin, using that bubble when things go wrong. Just reminds me of Sagging Sandstorm, just, it's bubble time.
Yeah, that's true. Well, the melee racks is pretty much healed up full, so Steam's coming in now. He wants to put a stop to that. They want to do a little bit on them, but he has a DD run. I don't think they should initiate, but it's a huge ulti coming through from Earthshaker. 3 drop down straight away, and it's actually GG's being called.
Dire's middle
Wait, rampage, leave it for him. Ah, Earthshaker. Oh, Earthshaker stole the rampage. Come on.
Gave him the slam. I actually want to talk about something that last fight before we get into the next game, because it was a perfect example of what I was trying to explain earlier about those micro decisions. Although it had no consequence on the outcome of the game, and I think Odie actually played pretty well, so it's a bit unfair of me picking him. But if during that engagement, he put Astral on the Earthshaker, who had just blown everything. So it decisions. Put it on the DDSF, a lot more useful than putting on the Earthshaker with those spells. So it's those kind of decisions that, and I think that's a big one and an obvious one. So it's not entirely fair of me, but that's the kind of thing that Bravado have simply been doing better throughout this game. And I think
Well,
DC
throughout the past few years.
yeah, a very fair comment. But yeah, I think that DC they have potential. I mean, this team did not get steamrolled in I mean, they got hurt. I mean, 23 minutes and 40-12. But early on in the game, it's bad, and I think there's definitely something for them to build on here. So hopefully in the next game they'll sort of get a bit more fortunate with those micro decisions, and maybe we see a closer game.
Yeah, I hope so. By all means, DC actually showed that they do have something in them. They must just make sure that they pick their fights and their engagement and the targets especially. And yeah, let's see, and hopefully we get a Meepo the next game.
Cool. See you guys in game 2.
Okay, cheers.
Sure.
DC, OBI, you'll keep me calling them sometimes DC, sometimes OBI, old habits die hard. Bravado taking game one quite convincingly, having a bit of fun there with very interesting drafts. Some promise here and there. I think they just need to focus on taking the right engagements, and their decision making, in my opinion, in the majority of the time was actually correct. It was just how they implemented the initiations and the fights that was lacking on their side. The smokes were good, everything else was good, but yeah, Bravado deciding to ban out the Abaddon. Abaddon causing quite a lot of problems for Bravado early game. Deciding to take out the Bane straight away.
In the previous, yeah, they did actually, the second ban last time. I wonder if Bravado are going to ban out DC's previous lineup.
5 seconds.
Probably, you know, just honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, you know, they go with the Alchemist, the Alchemist ban. I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, Bravado just aimed for it.
No, I think what Bravado are doing here is that very early in the game we saw that Aquatic Shield and the heals coming out of Abaddon were pretty influential on what I would suggest would be fair for Bravado early on, and I think that they're probably saying, okay, we have enough for this nonsense, so let's get this out the pool and see how they deal with us without those sort of key spells. I mean, the heroes that work in similar fashion, there's the likes of the Dazzle, but I don't feel effectiveness in this sort of effect. It doesn't have removal, it doesn't have as much of a presence as far as damage goes. I mean, obviously they were stacked up on top of each other, but it's not really the same thing. But anyways, my 2 cents, and
Reserve time.
Definitely, I definitely agree with you on that. We see the same bans, of course, coming through from OBI with the Bane and the Slug. We spoke a bit about it in the previous game. Bane, of course, you know, you basically take out the Bane because
Team pick.
have the same type of presence that a Baron can have, but in the opposite effect. They can take out 2 people and make, for example, a Phantom Assassin do like hardly any damage if it was the other way around. Slark, once again, we spoke a bit about it in the previous matchup. South African teams haven't yet learned, in my opinion, how to actually play against the Slark. I think it's still going to probably take another couple of months before they stop banning him completely, because Slark is a very niche pickup. He can be countered with burst quite easily. Bravado decided to pick up the Phantom Assassin, and I wonder if DC might not actually try a pocket strat here.
pretty interesting. A Phantom Assassin as a first pick is probably something we will see.
I imagine.
I think this is... You saw it here first. You saw it here first.
Just shut up.
But first pick material, pick up a baby. But look, I mean, Phantom Assassin. I just want to say thank you, Bravado, because these picks that they've been going for have definitely been interesting and they're entertaining. And it may not show the greatest degree of respect for your opponents. I don't. Essentially, but what it is enjoyable for the spectators. You get to see these heroes that we don't see enough of, because Phantom Assassin is definitely, in her own unique way, fan favorite. I mean, who doesn't want to see Coup de Crazy critting for over 1,000 and taking down a couple of heroes? So it's going to be fun to see.
Yep.
DC
played a pub last night that we were critting around 1,800, 1,900, 3 crits in a row on 3 different heroes, killing them one shot. So yeah, it can be very entertaining. DC deciding to pick up the Bristleback here, can take control of the mid-game phase quite nicely, in my opinion, if he doesn't get killed out, well, basically killed off a lot early game. And he can come back even if he does drop a level or 2 below what's expected. So, picked or banned until DC, so yeah, like you said, quite an interesting pickup. Crystal Maiden again coming through from DC, so you think we might be seeing a Mirana combo with it?
Oh, I do think it's a very brave Crystal Maiden there.
Yeah, I mean, that's... no comment.
I just imagine whoever's playing Phantom Assassin just sort of their eyes lit up for a moment there, because one of the problems with... Okay, so let's actually chat about Phantom Assassin seriously for a moment. PA was picked up at some
seriously,
point.
Phantom Assassin,
Sorry. No, if PA's got some factors that make her good, or rather a feasible pickup in certain environments. And one of these things is that PA is not a carry that actually needs a lot of item skill. I imagine there's 30 viewers right now thinking, what are you talking about? But the reality is Phantom Assassin can actually still deal a significant amount of physical damage with items that are easy and cheap to build. Additionally, she's useful with the fact that she can always find farm. Stifling Dagger is a guaranteed way to pick up your farm, even in the most dire of circumstances. And of course, against a lineup that is physically orientated, she comes with Blur, which is probably one of the best spells defensively in the game. So
10 seconds.
there's some feasible sort of aspects to PA, and I think one of the issues something like Crystal Maiden has against her is the fact that because PA can find this crits fairly regularly, 15%, well, she has that attack speed buff of 4 attacks, means it becomes significant, and I think Crystal Maiden gets engaged in here, she's in a lot of trouble. But yeah, I've spammed enough about that. I think that was a really interesting pick. Shadow Demon we sort of know, but let's do the pro thing and take us through the...
the pro thing. What? Me? What?
It's up to you, man.
Shadow Demon has actually fallen out of the international circuit quite a bit. If I'm not mistaken, the Shadow Demon, has only like a 30-something% win rate in the past couple of months. So, anyway, bans being done. Invoker and Storm Spirits. Basically, Invoker, I think, huge buffs happening to Invoker, so a very good ban out there. The Storm Spirit, you do not want the counter initiation, or the Storm Spirit to get away after the Phantom Assassin has critted you. DC going for a Necro and a Viper ban out. Of course, in my opinion, there are not a lot of heroes that can actually beat a Viper mid. Viper is one of the strongest heroes mid. Probably I don't see any hero beating a Viper, like completely beating a Viper mid. And
also
picking up a Venom Monster.
Sorry, just to chime in. Also, Bristleback really struggles against Viper. Viper maxing his Croesus skin is very effective against the BB, so that makes a lot of sense taking that ban. Axe, okay.
Yeah, no, they're just going full crazy. Forget about draft, forget about strats. Let's just pick what we want to pick up. I actually thought DC should have picked up the Viper, because it can slow the Phantom Assassin. Viper is a tanky hero, especially mid, and them having the first pick option, I think they should have maybe... Okay, never mind. They've gone for the Slaughter, the tank, the minus armor. The problem I still see here is Crystal Maiden and Venom Monster are probably 1 or 2 hits for the Phantom Assassin to kill. And having the Phantom Assassin with Blur, you won't always see the Phantom Assassin on the minimap before you know she's on top of you. Axe and Dazzle being picked up from Bravado, as you mentioned the Dazzle, previously, I think you did, yeah. I'm sorry, this is just full complete crazy strat from Bravado. I don't even think there's any type of strategy behind it. It's just picking up that they think will be fun.
To be fair, Shadow Demon and Dazzle is a nasty combination. That can really pack the punch. Obviously with the Illusion Spawn, Atomic Sand Assassin, blink on top of it. There isn't a stun which you'd normally see. So when we see this kind of lane, you'll generally see something like an ult to lay down stun, or even the Slaughter. But that really hurts, no question about it. What's interesting though is, I think generally you see the Shadow Demon Dazzle combination, it's run an aggressive trial lane. Now I might be wrong about this, but I think it's not something with a huge... But it's generally sort of an aggressive thing. Well, PA's more generally considered one of the lane farmers, so it is interesting to see that. The Axe is just...
They might be running the Shadow Demon, Axe and Dazzle aggressive and creep skipping.
That sounds horrible. Just like something tries to the creep and just put him in a bubble. Axe runs next to it, everything starts attacking the Axe, spinning whilst healed. Pub strats, all of you, go try it. Go see if it works. Go ruin somebody's by tri-laning with that. Well, this is really Visage is picked up. Now that's probably the first sort of truly interesting pick we've seen from DC.
I actually think it's a very good pickup, coming through from DC, especially if Bravado want to try and creep skip. That actually might help them. They might decide to run the Venom mid.
Yeah, it's some sort of farming Venom. I mean, that's the only way I can see it working for them. with like Slaughter
getting that early mecha.
just went trial.
Yeah.
10 seconds remaining.
Well, they
we've
could
seen
put
before.
Bristle mid and Veno offlane, or Bristle
Meepo.
offlane and Veno mid. Hey! Oh, yay! Okay, guys, sorry. I was like spamming flares and everyone in Bravado. Pick Meepo, fan favorite Meepo, pick Meepo. So I just want to give a huge shout out to flares, guys. Thanks for picking up Meepo. Oh, it's a last pick, I love it.
It's scary. The thing about this game, so Meepo engages on you, right? You take all the puffs, and then you get a dazzle heal coming through.
Yeah.
Okay, well, welcome
Okay.
DGL people, and probably the most interesting draft I've seen in a DGL game. So
Yeah, honestly, I don't think I've ever seen this draft being drafted at all in any type of matchup. But let me quickly take you through Bravado's lineup. It is going to be Seam on the Meepo. Okay, the rest of the guys I don't care about. Go, DC.
so just watch Meepo for the rest of the game, and I think we've fulfilled our responsibilities. as
Okay,
well.
wait, sorry. Phantom Assassin going solo offlane with Donnie. And being played by the Dazzle. So we are going to see Scant, Mr. Assman, and... well, Flares, I don't know about the laning, I don't know. Introduce DC, please.
So I have to mention during this pause, I've heard the story. Do you ever have that friend, right, who tells you the same story over and over and over again? Every time you see them, it feels to them that's necessary to
Obliged
tell you the same
to
story.
tell you the story. I know exactly what you mean. I'm usually the guy telling that story, but yeah.
Well, this you can continue the reign of stories, because I'm surprised I'm not seeing Scant on the PA, because I have heard of the offlane PA by Scant in I think it was an OC competition so many times, so I'm not surprised to see this occurring. But anyways, let me go over and do DC. It's the man with the coolest name in the game, Sticklish on the bristleback. He'll be supported by Hero and Crystal Maiden, and Sugarman playing the Visage. Over to mid lane we do have Creed playing that solo mid Venom, so that's going to be pretty cool to watch. And finally the top lane, well, it just got interesting again because we were paying attention to all of that interesting stuff. It's an off-lane Slaughter. No, surely not. So what's going to rotate? It must be a rotation.
No comment, dude. Seriously, no comment. I've got no freaking idea what's going on.
What's going on? It's just...
I love this, guys. I love this. Welcome to the Premier League South Africa, where logic is fucking thrown out the window and people don't give a shit.
You know what it is, man? It's the sprint. He's going to sprint away from his opponents.
Yeah, but if you get bold and cold... Hey!
He's-
I've got a new catchphrase, being bold and cold. Sorry,
Well,
that's lame.
Let's hope he doesn't get ball called, because that's a good point. But how do you catch Usain Bolt? That is Usain Bolt in top lane.
Yeah.
Start
Oh,
charging away.
Support
100
mid-strat,
meters.
dude. Support mid-strat. I've got no idea. Let's just enjoy the game, guys. We'll and comment as it goes on, but like I said, logic has been thrown out the window. Got no idea what's happening here. We're seeing a jungle act for the first time probably in DGL history in the Premier League. So yeah, let's just call it and, you know, just like cast as it goes.
How do cost game? That's Hero.
I don't know, I'm noob. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But yeah, Seam taking up this solo lane. I actually just want to keep my eyes focused on this. I mean, get that Ags up and blink up and you just kill everyone. I don't know, for those of you who actually watch, Andy subbed for, who was it, Next KZ? Fuck, I can't remember.
I know this.
Okay.
I don't know this. I know.
I can actually probably have a look on my Facebook because I posted it there and I was just like going crazy. But yeah, Dandy played the Meepo during the weekend and actually got a full rampage of. So yeah, it's no more no-tell Meepo, it's now Dandy Meepo. Fnatic. Oh yeah. Like I said, I actually don't know where to watch, so I'm just browsing around, checking what's happening. I think it's going to be a very chill early game, and then all hell's just probably going to break loose somehow, some way, somewhere.
I think the action's mid. I mean, both of these lanes are very, very sort of... these are both kill lanes, right, from both sides. Anybody makes a mistake and they're dead, and there's no doubt about it. And it's a very big question of who's going to be able to deal enough damage, because I don't think that the Shadow Demon Shadow Demon Dazzle combination has enough damage to burst him down, but they do have an axe, so CM, get involved.
Donnie's actually going on CM. CM is already on like half life. Already used her Frost Nova, but Donnie decided to actually back up there. I actually thought he was going to go balls to the wall and actually try and go for that kill, but no, he's deciding to actually rotate straight to mid, so we might actually see the first blood of the match happening now soon. Yeah, the disruption actually goes down. Visage is already on like next to no HP, and it is going to be Donnie getting the first blood, just jumping in. Surprised that the Visage didn't turn around and actually just make a last-ditch effort just to get that soul assumption down, but first blood going through to Bravado, having a roaming PA, so yeah. PA.
Roaming PA, okay.
Yeah, interesting.
Okay. Donnie being there actually was critical, because Flair was sort of in the surrounds. He wanted to get involved, but wasn't able to. Oh, this was happening again. Creed being a lot of damage. I think this might be enough to kill him. One last more. No.
Yeah, that's actually going to get him. It is going to be that one level in. Yeah, sorry. It is going to be that one level in his Shadow Poison coming through and actually getting that kill. Donnie might actually drop here. Wow. Bristleback actually diving that very far. Phantom Assassin does the counter kill. They are going on Seam with, on top lane. Seam doing quite a bit of damage to Slaughter as well, but it is Creed there getting one last move, and nope, it is Slaughter that is going to get the kill there. So that's actually a much needed kill up on the Meepo. So 3 for 2 in Bravado's favor, but getting a couple of pickups. Wait, mid lane we are actually being a... Whoa, okay, that's a crap load of damage actually coming through. Mr. Assman might actually drop one more attack from the tower. No, but Scan doing very well there to actually get the tower aggro off. But that ball into the heel just does so much damage to the supports mid, and very well spotted from Bravado, knowing that the Venom Monster went top to actually get a kill off on the Meepo. So we might actually see Seam is bottom. Is he going to go on the Crystal Maiden? No, he's just pulling them away. He's just like putting his finger and saying, "Hi, I'm here."
Oh, he's going on the back, in fact. Hero is very far away from Sticklish at the moment, actually.
Yep.
Oh, where's no net yet? The no net. Oh, the poof misses.
No.
Actually, Seam could be in trouble here.
Seam, I think, might be in trouble. No, but Donnie actually comes in. They're probably going to just focus down the Sim as quickly as possible. Who's going to get the last hit? It is going to be Seam, but he might actually drop here. A lot of stacks coming through. They both have to back up. Very good net coming through. They're actually probably saving both of their lives. But yeah, that was a full stack on the Quill, so doing a crap load of damage. But they might actually want to counter engage here. Yeah, Donnie actually does go in, get the Stifling Dagger off as well. Seeing he does not have net, it's very close. The poofs land, but the counter, well, yeah, there's the net. And Bristleback, they are attacking him on the back as well. Meepo does get the kill with the poof, and they are diving this as well. They're actually going on the C and tapping the CM in. More TPs are actually coming. Seems are sitting on very alive. He's actually going to get a kill. He does not, but he actually dies. Slaughter's coming in as well. He does get the stun coming through on the X. Venom should actually just turn around and attack him, but getting some good engagements coming through. Oh, flares! Might drop here. One more attack. No.
It was an empty soul assumption.
No idea.
Assumption. Oh no.
No idea.
I think there was a little bit of a misplay there. I mean, this perhaps a little bit too, especially in the game, I guess. But Obi was sort of sitting with 2 heroes on how which you could have got the Scissor and Crash off, and he held it a little bit later. But I actually think DC are a little bit fortunate, because Axe was seeing a lot of creeps, and he has the potential of just smashing you for a huge amount of damage that you did not or couldn't anticipate if he gets a little bit lucky. So it would be better for both teams, I guess, that little exchange.
Yeah, it's just once again scrappy fights coming through, but very entertaining. I can at least say that. Very entertaining fights coming through. Lanes are being switched up so much. I mean, the Venom is now bot where the Venom was mid. Oh wait, they're actually going on Seam. It's a huge gank coming through. Seam will probably die. The level 6 Venom that doing quite a bit of damage, and Meepo dropping. Now, they might actually go for a counter kill here, but I don't think they can. No, yeah, they should actually be able to get the axe. The ulti coming through from the slaughter as well. The minus armor and getting 2 kills. But Donny decides to come in. He is probably going to go on the Venom. He is going to get the Venom. He does not have his level 6 yet. Dagger is going to come to get the last kill. And Skank's going for the kill on Bristleback, but not getting it. Donny might actually fall here. DC, no wait, it's Seam. He's coming through with a Meepo. Meepo's gonna get a kill. No, yeah, it is the Meepo. I was surprised. Donny's gonna steal the kill, but he doesn't.
That's hero.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just listening to the laugh of the Meepo, dude. That's so freaking crazy.
Let's get another Meepo. I want to see more. I need to see more Meepo.
Need to see more Meepos. Yeah. I just think they must just let him get the next level up. Smoke actually does get popped in. We are gonna go on Shadow Demon here. Shadow Demon being dropped very quickly, and the Visage getting the last kill. But 4 heroes being not sacrificed, but 4 heroes rotating down to bot lane. Yeah, that's quite a lot. But wait, Seam, are we going to see a dive here on the Slaughter? I expect so. Wait for it. Wait for it. Little bit up. Yeah. There we go. Seam's going to go for the net. Yeah. No. Don't dive. Anyway, Meepo not getting anything. In the bush, we're actually seeing they're going on Donny. Donny might get a counter kill. Yes, here's the group graph.
So then you were telling me, thinking earlier that I was wrong about him being able to hurt early on. There's your answer.
Yeah. Anyway, Meepo getting another up on the Slaughter mid lane. Also Meepo, gotta love it. Oh wait, was that Meepo or was that the axe? No, it wasn't Meepo getting the kill. He did get the axe off though.
Axe's ulti. Yeah, cutting blade was used.
That's very weird because Meepo got the kill, but
I think he may have mistimed. I mean, look, I saw a huge amount of damage dealt very quickly to that starter who seems to be innocently mining his own business. So I would almost be surprised if Cutting Blade wasn't able to get the final hit, but that seems to be the case because the damage was dealt.
But I thought you had to get the kill with Axe to actually get the buff.
Well, yeah, with Axe,
which is apparently not the case.
You have.
Yeah.
Well, I thought because it's bottom where the action's at now. And we do see the defensive disruption actually, and Scamping a little bit of trouble. He's going to have to run for heals. He's got support, gets flares and Donny. The blinking comes through, and Hibby is taking a lot of damage anyway. He does fall to the right clicks of the air, and Bear not done yet. He gets a stun off on flares, but flares doing quite a bit of here. Donny on the side also doing quite a bit of damage. As the Scamp returns, full on HP, and I think that'll be it. Well, no, they want more. No. They want more.
Everyone wants a piece of the pie. Everyone
wants it. Gale. But the engagement comes through Donny. He does so much damage actually. Scan is showing the forward time. Someone Donny on the side as well. Scan managed to give us a nice heal that saves one. I think Donny should fall from the poison anyway. Slayer tries to re-engage it. Nice, actually.
Huge disruption coming through there. Oh, check that block! Check that block. All the time, Meepo's farming up top lane. He's sitting around 2,000 gold, 1,800 gold away from his Ags, and then we'll probably wait till Blink, and then he will go and rampage around. Sorry, I just like that.
I don't know, hey. The thing is, what's interesting about this game is that I'm not sure if Meepo is bugged. I'm just actually looking at his items. Yeah, I think Meepo is bugged. His network doesn't look right at all. But Bristleback is appearing to be the highest net worth in the game at the moment, and he's pretty tanky at the moment. English is actually dealing some damage. He's 5-4. I mean, if there's ever a game for DC to take Vado, it's this one. This is their chance for probably the biggest upset we would have seen in DGL.
But a smoke coming through from Donny and co. They're using their Shadow Demon to actually bait. A ball comes through, but it actually gets. It actually stopped Blink. Sugarman will probably still die. One last hit coming through. No, Donny actually thought he might have got that, but it is going to be a siphoning dagger. Donny just decides to run away. He's like, no, Scant, you just stay where you are. I'm not going to go and help. And DC getting 2 kills out of that. Looking at the gold graph though, okay, we'll probably still take a couple of seconds to update, but we're still sitting at roughly around 4,500 gold in favor of Bravado. Which isn't that much if you take into account that at this point in the last game they were sitting at roughly 15,000 gold ahead. Donny might actually go, well, Donny will probably go for the CM here. If he's, yeah, there goes the dagger and Croup de Gras, get a crit and die.
We spoke about in the drafting days. Unfortunately, CM is just really struggling to compete with it. I mean, those 200 crits don't seem like a big number. We are seeing 12 minutes in, and it's a very low HP pool on the hero. You can also crit on the spectrum with the Stifling Dagger, by the way, a little key point there, which is also significant when you're a Crystal Maiden.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Sorry, I was just busy laughing at Scant and Donny both trying to get the last hit. Donny got the one and Scant healed to get the last hit. So, both of them wanting to get this. Oh wait, Donny decides, no, okay, he backs off, he doesn't want to go on the blue. But top lane seems to be where it's at. Meepo actually, oh wait, there comes the poof, but it's the only one. The net actually does land, but, yeah. Speedy Gonzalez is starting to run away now, and I'm missing everything here in the jungle. It is the Visage that actually dropped to the Axe getting the kill there. Might a counter engagement here coming through. Axe dropping quite fast. The heal coming through as well. Creed drops his ulti. Axe will probably drop from this as well, and it's gonna be a couple of kills coming through from DC. Very good Shallow Grave coming up now as well, but it's not gonna really do anything. Actually it does, it will probably save his life. Very well played that Scan to get the whatchamacallit, sorry. To actually get the Shallow Grave off and give Shadow Demon enough time to disrupt him. But 3 kills coming through the way of DC.
Yeah, DC are actually doing right here. I had to point something out, by the way. Now, this is something I find very interesting. Creed, the Solar Venomancer, I'll give him that much. That's one of the biggest buffs to Venomancer was the Plague Wars, because he got the added effect of Poison Sting, and it did a lot of sort of peripheral damage. Creed took his first level of Plague Ward. It's like really interesting to see, because normally you'd expect Wisdom of Scale is being used entirely for the slow duration. He's actually having damage out. Oh, top lane though, sorry. Stickler feels the axe, but there's an engagement here by Bat. That gets disruption, but he does have friends there. The Gale that goes wide. Scanton a lot of trouble here, but he does get the Shadow Grave off, and he will be able to hit the heals. Creed wants to stand and fight, but deals fair damage to Flares. Doing the split, the heal comes through, does a lot of damage. VAR falls inside. Shuman drops the soul assumption, but it's not enough. And Creed backing up the hill, but there is a hero, and he's going to go on Flares. There should be the Flares. Flares falls. He's freezing field, doing quite a bit of damage as he's positioning himself well in the woods.
Placement.
The BD takes a soul assumption to the back, and we're going to see some man from Donny. No, he thinks wisely of it and backs off. But
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Croup de Gras crit on his Stifling Dagger. That's quite a lot.
it really does hurt, especially when you're a Crystal Maiden. I keep saying it because I feel bad for her. There's no shame in dying to Meepo, Aghanim Scepter. Hello.
Meepo, Aghanim Scepter having 4 Meepos up already, so yeah, this is gonna be fun. We only need his Blink Dagger now, but we all see the TPs are going down bot lane. It is Scan coming through, and there's gonna be flares as well. Meepos are coming through. This might actually be the first proper full team engagement, but I do see the Slaughter is top, and it is Donny that's trying to loop them. He might actually get a Courier Step. Jade Dragon, by the way. Not Jade Dragon. Yeah.
Spins of Fury. Kill it.
Kitten's fire.
Gage is here, and there's a lot of damage. There's a poof! There's the poof, there's 4 Meepos. The ulti goes from Creed. It's a lot of damage being dealt everywhere. That stands his ground. He's backing off now. He has to. He's taking a lot of damage. Once he gets last stun, but not enough seems. 1 Meepo gets Shadow Grave, as flares on the side take quite a bit of damage as well. Spell flying, and Flares looking to be greedy on the side. He wants to go here. Sugarman is very low. He really needs to kill one of the Chiefs. Scant goes in. He's probably going to fall here. Does he have Shadow Grave? No, it's not up. He's going to fall. The Soul Assumption does the job. Flares needs to back off. That's actually a 3-for-4 trade. Oh, it's only one sort of quarter. Oh wow, this is not over yet. Flares, what are you doing? Flares, do it.
Gotta get creep block, buddy.
Oh, it was a magic one charge. It was also a magic one charge. Oh wow.
I was like, just keep it quiet there, I was waiting for it. Seam was very unlucky there because he came in and he poofed and he actually didn't do any damage, and then the Slaughter just came in stunned and there was the Venom ult on top of that. So now they are going on the Brittleback, so poof's coming through, already on a quarter HP. Check that amount of damage.
I think a lot of the poof there was not to his back, so he really hurt him and fought on the front foot again. Man, I tell you what, 50 kills in 17 minutes, amazing drops, amazing lineup.
I love it, dude.
It's awesome. And it's not over. There's a lot of fun still left in this game.
He wants to see him, not see him deciding to counter engage. She must be very careful. Yo, 215 crit coming through on the CM. Half life just from one crit.
Oh, nice dodge. Hero, run! I believe in you, Hero! No!
I believe in Nipo! Anyway, counter engagements happening here bottom lane, which we're missing quite a bit. So Shadow Demon actually getting the soul charges off as well, but Donnie coming through getting huge crits.
Having doing a he really did well there. He Mr. Assman actually dodged the Gale with his disruptions, so surviving. All the support's falling at the moment, as Donnie, he's picked up a Shadow Damage, which is interesting.
More crits.
I mean, look, I was going to say when I spoke about PAs using small items to do well, that Shadow Amulet would not be an item that I would consider on the list of the small items. It actually offers a very little, so...
If it was the old Shadow Amulet, where you would always crit out of the Shadow Amulet, well, if you had crit, and you use your Shadow Blade, you'd always crit and do more damage since you do more damage with Shadow Blade. But that was actually a bug which they did not fix for a very, very long time. So everyone thought that it was be that way, but they did change it, I think like halfway through last year. If I was with that, I would say by all means, because then you would do a crap load of damage, but meh.
I know, I understand what's going on here actually. I realize what's happened. Donnie is turning his Phantom Assassin into Templar Assassin. Decided he picked the wrong hero, he wants something different, so he's gonna meld and then snap
He's gonna get the meld.
That's TA, isn't it? That's what TA does. Oh, there's more action here though. Nope. I'll be by Habidi, just sort of... Claire is very deep in here.
Come to the max, what are you doing? Oh, that's so close.
That's
so close.
Wards are very dangerous there.
Donnie and Seam.
It's not over.
Coming through there on... No wait, Slaughter actually has his sprint on. Very good disruption there coming through from Shadow Demon. Are we going to see a complete re-engagement? Seam actually might come in. It is poofs happening, but if they get stunned up by a Centaur, so unlucky. Yeah, Steam. He's back in the jungle, back to farming up normal wards. DC should not split up like this. This was the problem in the first game, and if BVD had more people, they actually probably would have counter-engaged here.
That shall not pass. Nico holding place. Sickness goes on to Donnie. Not gonna be enough. Seam starts poofing away. But there's some left over. He poofed to the wrong target. I think he poofed to the wrong target.
I know,
he's in trouble.
He's dead, dude.
He's dead.
He poofed correctly, and then poofed to the wrong hero. No, Flares!
Flares! What are you doing there?
No, but it's Flair's fault that everyone just died from bravado, so he's probably going to be the cause again.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
In for probably the most entertaining DGL match you're going to see in a long time. You'll hear it here first. The DC lead the charge with kills at the moment. And taking a look at the gold graph, they're still pretty far behind. But 21 minutes in, almost 60 kills. What a game it is. And not over that, Habidi gets engaged in here. Back as well, so he'll be okay. But Sickler's looking really aggressive. He's been pretty influential so far this game.
Just read. Oh wait, Seam has the blink dagger up. Seam has a blink dagger.
Put time.
It's gonna be good. This is gonna be good.
Put time.
Stats level. What level did you get the last one? It's earlier. 17 or 18 you get the last meepo.
No, it
They changed that up.
does get at 16 because it's a little bit away, but so much excite. And still, that was the first tower that DC's taken. There's actually quite a fair amount of money for them left on the map, and this match has been crazy. Let's put that. There's a quote about, you know, when Donnie, he's got the Shadow Blade. Who's he going for here? Oh, it's Hero. This poor defenseless Hero. No doubt, surely. There it is, Hero.
Oh, crits! Them crits!
He needs no, Hero. Get out of there. Oh goodness. I want him to live. Oh, dude. So my animation went off there.
Focus what to focus on, what to say. So I'm just looking around the map at this point. Seam really wants to kill there. He's like goes like running in front of everyone, but no, he just goes back straight into farming. So go for next. I think he needs a little bit more life points. Some stats.
So what he said, like Meepo has the potential of being quite scary. If he does get some huge items, it becomes quite overwhelming. And Roshan's feeling some of that overwhelming.
Give ages to Meepo. Give ages to Meepo. I actually want to type that into all chat right now.
Slightly alarm. DC's going to DC on the back here. Stickler's being touched. Great helping from Venomancer. Dead on he's moving. Oh, he crits though. Hero taking a lot of damage. He really wants Hero. Hero gets going again. He's down. Trojan flares. Leading hard. Gets him cutting bait. Stickler's gets popped. And only his BD really desperately low at the moment. And they will finish off the Roshan. Huge fight for Bravado. Heals coming through. Rosh, you're in the next. Only Sugarman, who's in full HP. Probably going to try to push the bottom.
The point there is Vado were actually all together for once, and I have ever been all together in a team fight and just completely owning.
Pretty promising for DC, but then just the damage just seems to skyrocket from Bravado. It really makes a big difference, those skills, healing up your teammates, and then of course there's so many units to bounce off. It really does hurt. I'm going to take a look at this spell at the moment. This is max level, target 6, 140 per each target that hits. It hurts.
Yeah, that hurts. Well, level 18, 5 meepos. How do we know what? I've seen was actually, you know, getting his puff sometimes not to the correct hero, so I don't think he's played Meepo that much, but seeing as Meepo is a crowd favorite and, you know, we were like telling them pick Meepo, I just think they decided to, well, let's just take Meepo for the crowd. So I want to give a huge shout out. Seam coming in now, getting quite a lot of damage down there, but no, he's actually running away. No, Sugarman will probably drop here with a Venom Monster. Axe gets the hammer off, and it is going to be Seam counter-engaging, getting huge beds down there, and heals, boom, dead. Sorry, I don't know what else to say.
Dead. I mean, it's a pretty accurate assessment of what's going on at the moment, and I think
Dazzle Meepo is actually a good combo.
Yeah, it's pretty painful, and there's always going to be those 6 targets around here, and it sort of feels like Bravado was sort of having a little bit of fun, and they were enjoying the game for what it was, and then there came a moment where it just has felt like Bravado said, okay, enough messing around, let's stick it to them, and all these last fights have been completely Bravados. They haven't dropped any heroes, and this is starting to feel like the previous game did, where a couple of heroes were on low HP, but none of them actually dropped, and that was like sort of the deciding factor of the match. And I think it's going to happen again as this game progresses, where we just find that Bravado is going to keep picking up these sort of, I want to say seamless wins, but it's full of
seamless
so
wins. Don't say seamless, say Meepo-less. Well, it's not Meepo-less, it's Meepo wins, but yeah, whatever. have a quick look at the gold graph. Check those huge dips and curves coming through. It's every time when, honestly, when Flares runs in to 5 and thinks he can 5-man them, he dies, and then Bravado runs in 1 by 1 and they all die.
He's Flares. If Flares can't 5-man people, who can?
I was going to say Donny, but yeah, we've...
Well, Donny's a PA now, so he's more the thick horse in the middle. Oh, see him, no! Hero, run! Run here! Oh, it's over. It's over.
Oh, check those crits! But those of you that, well, were like wondering what we were talking about, we said that a PA does not need a lot of farm. PA only has a Shadow Blade up.
To be fair, once again, it's not quite the item we had in mind when we made that comment, because it's not a particularly.
I'm thinking more about drums type of builds.
Yeah, that's exactly it. There's sort of phase boost drums and generally look towards maybe like a BKB or basher, but he still hurts. I mean 300 crit is nothing to put your nose in. I think he's actually got a 500 in that last one.
Yeah, well, we might see an engagement here coming through from Bristle. I still want to see the blink initiation coming through from C, but there's just so much that actually that actually pops off his blink. But no, why was he proofing everyone in when he wasn't on top of the Bristle back? I think there was a little bit of miss micro coming through from here. And Donny! That was a pure kill steal. That wasn't even a kill steal.
Was he last doing that? Was he waiting for it?
Yup.
Flare's going.
That's not a kill secure, that's a kill.
Leaving the charge again. It's hero run. You want to pass this hero?
Oh, poof, 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 and Axe drops the hammer.
Please.
Ulti coming through from the Venom Monster might actually get something, but no. Everyone's just deciding to go man mode here. Let's see if we are gonna get a rampage. Donny. No rampage, and
Cutting blade.
She dead, and thank you, because of Aegis. I think Seam was just bailing that out, because Aegis was probably going to be reclaimed within the, like, a couple of seconds, so, yeah. But anyway, sorry guys, we aren't...
Never use it. No one casting it.
Yeah. I have to say, it's an interesting cast to actually cast this game, because it's so exciting. I actually don't want to cast, I just want to watch. So I have to like say sorry for that. Sometimes I like just keep quiet for like a second there. But it's just one of those games that sure there's a lot to talk about, but there's actually Axe ulting the creep. Come on. Like I said, there's a lot to talk about. Axe just ulting a creep. And he does not have his Aghanim Scepter. But it's still a lot to talk about, but in the same sense, there's nothing to talk about because it's a complete control game. It's an awesome game to watch. It is, I think, probably first Meepo seen in Premier League, in DGL. There's 76 kills in 30 minutes. Everything's just going completely haywire during this cast, during this match. It's awesome, it's great, I love it. For those of you that don't know who I am RidditZ. My co-caster is Hellbird. You can follow me on Facebook. It's Facebook.com/RidditZ Dota. And we are casting for nAvGamingTV DGL Premier League Bravado versus DC.Obi.
What's the stats win, dude? I get so few opportunities for my hands go like, let's do this.
Oh, huge initiation coming through from Seam, but he gets counter initiated. Slaughter actually coming through here with a massive stomp. Seam dropping down. He wanted to take on 5. He wanted to take on 5 here by himself, but yeah, he couldn't, and he actually bought back. He wants to come straight back into this fight. Donny casting his Shadow Blade. He's probably gonna go onto Hero again. Shame, poor Hero. Wait for it. There it is. 1 hit, 2 hit, and It is actually the Axe that's going to take that kill, dropping the hammer down again. Axe does have Aghanim Scepter, so every single time, thank you for that huge, nice, awesome plug. Axe does have his Aghanim Scepter up, so he can just keep on casting his ulti, and every time that he casts it, like you see there, triple kill coming through. His Aghanim does not have a cooldown. Flare's coming through now as well. They want to get one last kill, and it is the Axe dropping it again. Ultra kill. Once again, not getting a rampage. There's always one hero denying the rampage from the others, and sometimes it just seems to me they're doing it on purpose. They don't want each other to get a rampage. A couple of ultra kills happening in game 1 and game 2.
There's only one winner in this game, and so it's the guy who gets the rampage. I think that's fair, right?
I agree. MVP for guy who gets rampage. But no, only actually DC. What happened? It is Mr. Aston. He did DC. Don't know what's going on. He is dead though. This game is pretty much done. But I just want to give a huge shout out. Thank you, Flare, for taking the Flare team. Everyone from Bravado, Scant guys. Thank you for picking up the Meepo, making it a great game for us to cast. GGs are called now as well. It's been, I have to say, probably the most entertaining game that I have cast in a very long time.
Yeah, it certainly was a lot of fun, and you know, I think they provided the entertainment tonight, and we think so. But I also said to DC, like, I think there were moments that they looked pretty decent. They obviously had a really hard time in the first game, and this game progressively sort of got out of control. But it was definitely a sort of, they manned up. They came to the sort of ballpark to play, and then they played a pretty good game in the end as far as entertainment goes. And I think that they'll probably surprise a couple of the other sides in Premier with what they can perform, or how they can perform. So best of luck to them going forward. And yeah, RidditZ, I'll leave it to you to do the closing speeches. Closing speeches, please, RidditZ, if you would be so kind.
Meepos.
we just sort of repeat Meepo sort of in a monotone fashion for a while, and then we just wait for the thing to disconnect.
Meepo.
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 Oh.
It had a little bit of a, you know, kind of a dazzle in it. Haha!
Okay guys, anyway, thanks for joining us. It was very entertaining. I'm RidditZ. My co-caster was Hellbird. Thanks a lot, dude. I really appreciate it. Next weekend I will not be casting, as I am going to be in Cape Town. I might actually go through to Donnie and Flares and the guys and actually just say hello there as well while I'm there, you know, get a couple of drinks going. But anyway guys, thanks for joining. Very Meepo. It was a very Meepo game to cast, and yeah, sweet. Check you guys, follow us on Facebook, click the like button, click the Meepo button, and I wish I could modify it so that my like button was a Meepo button, but yeah. Sweet guys, awesome. Cheers. Meepo.
Buzzing.